number 1. Intrigued to see if ByuN's got a response to the early kind of Ravager rush, which has been causing so many issues for people as of late. Let's see what happens. ByuN spawns as the blue Terran player to the top left-hand side of the map. It is ByuN. And down to the lower right-hand side, the red Zerg. Give it up, guys, if you're cheering on Dark. So we see straight away, Overlord will start to go across the map. And, well, the issue with this map that a lot of people have had is that it's very rush-friendly, in the sense that it's a pretty fast move through the center. Obviously, later in the game, it's not as usable because of this very narrow pathway, but early attacks can get across rather easily nonetheless. And then you get into this position here, and especially with Ravagers, etc., hit so early, and already you can hit so easy from the low ground, the first depot, and then flood in and all the rest of it. Now it looks as though ByuN, building on the low ground, will want to go for a 3 Rax Reaper play. And that's going to be his answer to what already is a gas pool out of Dark, and looking to be somewhat, maybe a bit more aggressive than just sitting back with the hatch gas pool. We'll see what exactly he wants to do over the next few moments. So we're going to see these 2 barracks building on up. We're going to see the spawning pools continue to come down. It's about halfway done in the back of the mineral line. You're going to see these couple of workers still mining away on the gas. So workers still mining away, and the gas hatchery will indeed go down. And I guess we're yet to see, basically, as the gas continues to mine, will it just be an investment into link speed, or are we going to see that roach roaring coming on down and coming into play? Well, we have to just wait and see what exactly Dark wants to do. It is a build, this, the gas pool hatch, where you can go into the roach roaring, but it's not like a super fast Ravager rush, which we were maybe alluding to a little bit earlier on. So this very well could just be the early link speed. I mean, Dark's about to see that this is 3 Rax Reaper, in which case he's probably going to put down a Roach Roaring anyways as a standard way to defend against this. So that's probably what he's aiming towards right now. As we do see this Overlord continue to come in towards the top left, and there we go. He's going to see these barracks. And now he figures out what this is. So, again, standard response to this would generally be the Roaches, but as of late, more players have felt a bit more confident with link speed only defenses because of the maps. Paladinos may be one of the better maps for 3 actually, but just because you have a good area here you can jump down, it's not easy to loop around with those Zerglings like it is on other maps nowadays. But it still is only one ledge to work with. I guess there's a ledge. I actually don't know if you can jump up and down this ledge over here. I imagine you can. For some reason it just looks as though you maybe can't. It looks like it's like really high up or something. I don't know if I'm just being crazy. I guess we'll find out. I actually haven't cast very much Paladino Terminal since it joined the map pool. It is one of the more heavily vetoed maps. As we see the 2 Reapers coming in, and just going to see a grenade coming down as well. Lings continue to take some damage. Backing away now, a few more Reapers on the way up. So again, ByuN will continue this pressure as the first Roach is coming out from Dark. Now Dark has always had a thing against 3 Rax Reaper where he does sometimes try and go for the aggressive counter-attack option, which is where basically you see an opportunity and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and attack on into you and see what else might happen, and just try and get across the map. And by doing that, I pulled the Reapers back home and all the rest. Now, I remember there was a game in the BlizzCon finals that these guys played that Dark did that, and ByuN just showcased us the sickest defense ever. And it's one of those things where a lot of people will just say it's not worth it because if the Reapers are controlled correctly, it works out. But Dark does sometimes try that anyways. That's a mistake by ByuN. Loses 1 Reaper, is fortunate not to lose a second. If the Roach is a target fired, that would have been a second Reaper down. And 3 more Roaches building the 2 Ravagers. Again, that possibility of getting across the map and maybe doing some damage is definitely there. Question is, does Dark want to try and make that happen? Well, here we go. Roaches are going to start moving out, so yes, he will. He has the gas for another couple of Ravagers as well in a moment. So this is going to be pretty scary. As ByuN with the Reapers, we'll see this. And obviously the idea of the Reapers is you're going to use those grenades to try and slow this down. Stop this from attacking across the map as quickly as Dark would like to. And you can see now Dark has to pull back a little bit. So for every 2 steps towards, he is still taking 1 back. And that does help ByuN a lot in this upcoming defense because it just gives him so much more time to prepare against this. With the Ravager morphing on in, and again, using as much of that gas as he can. Now, Marine's starting to build out of these barracks. This isn't actually the friendly way around for these barracks, actually, because on this side of the map, obviously your reactors and tech labs are going to be on the kind of the attacking side of the wall rather than the defensive side of the wall, which means that this doesn't really work out too well for ByuN. He's going to lose 1 Rax. The second Rax going down as well, and I mean, Dark's just going to keep on going for this, so this counter-attack is working out wonderfully for him. Ravagers continue to do a lot of damage here, picking off so many of these units, and I mean, the fact he's lost his Rax is kind of insane. Here come the Lings, but there's just not enough units for ByuN anymore. And Dark is looking to pick up a very fast game, number 1, as Ravagers moving up this ramp, going to pick off a few more of these units. More Reapers, more Marines going down, and that's going to be a couple more SCVs being dropped right here. And as we do just see, these Ravagers continue to work their way through the SCVs, through the Reapers. More Biles continue to come into play. SCVs continue to get shot down as well. And that will be the one siege tank in the back to defend, but it won't last too long because of the Biles. There's a Banshee though, actually, so it's not all over just yet. I'm here kind of talking about doom and gloom for ByuN, but with the tank doing a lot of damage initially, the Banshee will come in clean up pretty soon after. ByuN losing a few more SCVs here towards the very, very end. 15 workers lost, he's down by 12, and now Dark's starting to rebuild his own economy a little bit too, going up to a few more workers to kind of continue building this advantage. These Zergans are actually the perfect follow-up to this. Obviously, they cross the map quickly to reinforce, but also the fact it's a Banshee now as the main kind of defense, it just means that these Lings do not die very quickly. So that was really, really nice for ByuN, for Dark, sorry, and ByuN does end up losing a lot more units in the end there, a lot more SCVs than I actually thought he was going to end up on. I thought he was going to end up on a fairly decent number of SCVs, but, you know, a moment ago we were talking about like 13 to 20 or something. Now it's like 9 to 27. It's like he's on a third of the work count. Not pretty. Not pretty. Alright, going to be seeing the Banshee coming down towards the... well, coming over to the right-hand side. So Banshee coming over to the right. We see a couple of Queens trying to target that Banshee down. Banshee is going to be deflected for now. No cloak on this Banshee, of course. I mean, ByuN is pretty much strapped for cash, so investing into cloak is obviously something he didn't do initially. Just wanted to Banshee out ASAP to help him defend. And now he's just looking to use it to harass. Just try and get anything done. You know, anything he picks up right now would be great. As oh, he loses it though to the Queens, and that is another just small loss for ByuN. That really, really hurts him here. Now, ByuN is already on 2 match wins, which means that he's already actually through this group. It's Dark that really has a lot to play for still, and ByuN as well, to be fair. I mean, ByuN can still look here to go, you know, 3-0 and confirm first place in the group, which means he is, like, you know, going to place against a second place finisher in another group, which is generally going to, you know, arguably going to be an easier play. I mean, it's tough to say, right? But that's how the logic works. If someone finished second, they weren't as good, and so on and so on. So that's sort of the logic there. So ByuN definitely still has something to play for. Dark still wants to qualify out of this group. You know, if he loses this and loses the TvZ, we have a 3-way tie, which could make things very, very interesting. So, see how this goes. Obviously, so far, though, Dark looking pretty good in game number 1. Viking coming forwards, he tries to keep dropping these Queens in. Wants to use those to help against the Banshees. I mean, just so much more Ling Roach Ravage again, ready to go again. Dark, having cut runs once more, has actually found himself only now 5 workers ahead, but obviously has a lot of units to try and use in this upcoming attack. So let's see what he can get done with it. As already the natural command center will be evacuated. 1 SCV is left mining, but that will be it for now. As here we go, Ravagers. I mean, they can just cross about this siege tank. It's going to go down almost instantly, and that's one of the big issues here for ByuN. He doesn't have multiple tanks. He can't really just keep a tank siege because it just dies so fast. There isn't really a kind of correct option for him. Maybe leaving it unsieged is best, but then it doesn't do anywhere near as much damage. Either way too much here from Dark. The early attack works out, and that will be GG to allow Dark to take game number 1 of the best in Group D. So make sure you hit that follow button on the stream, see when we go live with all of those events, all of those players, and all the rest of it as we jump now into Game 2 of our penultimate best of 3 of the day. After this, we just have Dark versus TvZ, and then we're going to be wrapped up and finished for today's games. Let's see who is still going to make it through this group as we have to the bottom right-hand side of the map, the blue Terran player. Give it up, guys, if you're cheering on ByuN. And to the top left-hand side of the map, our red Zerg player, it is Dark. Going into the top left, let's look to see what he can get up to in the next few moments. So we set up here, an extractor comes down to begin with. We're going to see a spawning pool now building up as well. So an extractor starts on up, spawning pool starting too, and a couple more drones just coming on into play. You can see this barracks is continue coming down as well, and it's going to be seeing the barracks coming to be about halfway done. So barracks about halfway done, and other than that, just all looking okay right now. All looking okay right now. Dark can continue moving down towards the bottom right-hand side with that Overlord there, as we do just see the hatchery from Dark as well to this top side just coming down. So gas pool hatch. Again, we'll see what he wants to do with it. Does he want to get, you know, just cancel the SCV on the CC? Is there something a bit more he wants to commit to? Well, that's what we're going to be looking to find out in the very near future. So yeah, Reaper on the way up. We're going to see the CC is going to drop on the low ground. I mean, for ByuN so far, very standard Reaper expansion. I mean, what Dark's doing is not really different or weird anyways. It's either. it's still just pretty much what we would sort of expect. You know, gas pool hatch is a very common build order as well in the matchup. And it's also a build order you can go into a lot if you're afraid of maybe 3 racks Reaper play or so, just to get that earlier gas going, which can help so much more with the faster speed, with some faster roaches. So many different options there for you to utilize, so that's something Doc's just going to do, probably out of safety after the last game. I mean, he is a game ahead, so it can work out for him. And of course, again, he has those first 2 Zerglings just popping out, and they're going to start getting ready to go across. Where are they? Sorry, I took my glasses off to clean them momentarily, and now I can't see the Zerglings. Did he make Zerglings? He did. There they are. They're in the main base. Well, I'm not that blind at least. I thought it was just because my glasses were off. No, they're actually just sat in the main base, patrolling back and forth. They're looking to try and catch the Reaper, or at least denied from getting into the main. I actually see 6 Maulings being made, but the Reaper gets straight on in, just going to keep on moving forwards. Won't see too much, but might get a drone kill actually. Nice Spore Crawler placement from Doc, going to minimize that damage though. Another drone this time will go down as he gets blocked, and a nice grenade as well to force the Zerglings back. Ooh, he actually loses the Reaper to the Queen. That's interesting. How many lings is this then? So with 8 lings, 10 lings? Yeah, 8 lings. He's going to go across the map, and well, there's Hellions on the way from ByuN. He's not playing a 2-1-1 or anything. He is just going into a Hellion-based follow-up. So these few Zerglings should not really have much to really do. I mean, they're going to arrive, get killed by some Hellions, and that's going to be it. I mean, they might catch the Hellions in a bad position. They might get a quick surround suddenly. I was going to see those first 2 Hellions popping out. And the Zergling does just take a little bit of damage. Depot going to be lowered now, and this starport is going to move on over to the tech lab. Banshee on the way up here, and the barracks just coming down as well. And these few Zerglings just coming up the right hand side, looking to see what else is going on. Roach Roaring comes on in from Dark, so that's going to be starting on up here. The 3rd hatchery starting up as well. Let's see another couple of Hellions popping out. ByuN continue to set up into this, and yeah, I mean, the first 2 going across the map leaves them 2 in a hope to keep them very safe against the potential run by again. He actually puts them in part of the wall as well, just to minimize the spread. And if they run forwards, they're going to get absolutely roasted as they come into that choke point. So that's pretty neat. ByuN again, just good play so far going into this Cloak Banshee, and will we see an armory as well? I mean, he's got the money for it already if he wants to put one down. If he wants to go and make this a bit of a Hellbat based attack. As Banshee finishes up, he actually cancels Cloak, so decides to do a Cloakless here as he sets this first Banshee out forwards. Just start up Stim there momentarily. Looks as though he's got a little bit of a and hawing about what he wants to do. Startup, I think what he did is he swapped the starport away from the tech lab so he could start Stim. And then he started Stim, realized he couldn't make his Viking, but he wants the Viking early for whatever reason. So then cancelled Stim, made the Viking, then goes back to Stim. Bit of a kind of confusing moment or two, but yeah, it's just him making sure to do his build kind of the way he wants to and make sure it's all going to line up properly for him. As you see this Banshee coming forwards, 1 drone going down right away. So 1 drone already forward, a couple more Queens continue to come in, and that Banshee once more being pushed away over to the right hand side here. So Banshee getting pushed over to the right once again, and we see again just a few more drones continuing to come out at this point. Nidus Network coming down from Dark, and that's interesting as well. And Nidus at 5 minutes in game, didn't really think of this as a potential Nidus all in. I saw the lair on the way up, I just assumed, you know, roach speed and just playing out, you know, going into the lair nice, and it wasn't even that weird a timing. I guess no Evo Chambers is what kind of gives it away a little bit, as Nidus Network just over halfway done then, and Dark will look to get very aggressive. Now, is there a space ByuN does not see in his main base? No, is the answer to that. As you're going to see, this Overlord is going to get shot down as well. Can he get the Nidus down in time? He is going to put it down. So Nidus is on the way. Hellions immediately turn around to come back home. Nidus Network builds were very powerful when, at the start of Legacy of the Void, a lot of Terran players were still using Hellion-based openers. And so, let's see if it's going to be the same here. ByuN with a tank on the way up, though. It's obviously going to be a big part of defending against this. There's a lot of Queens and Roaches starting to move out, and well, ByuN starts to pull away. The tank's going to pop. He's going to put it in position over here. Stimpack, though, taking some damage, but there's now this siege tank coming in. And Dark will begin to pull back just slightly as we see Lings going in towards the natural expansion at the same time. There's also something which ByuN has to find an answer to here momentarily. 7 workers already lost. You can see the Hellions thinking they're coming in, but seeing the Hellions decides to back away. ByuN running around with a lot right now to figure out what's going on. There's the Ravagers coming up. Those Ravagers means he can corrosive bow down the tanks much more quickly. If he can corrosive bow those tanks, and oh no, ByuN, he's stacked at the Liberator and the Siege tank. Oh, well, that's going to be both of them going down right away then. However, he takes the opportunity to move forwards here. Does Dark have enough? The Roaches are going to keep on firing as the Ravagers pull back, and that is going to help him out so much here. Another Siege tank. He actually only has 2 Ravagers now, though, so he doesn't have the biles he needs thoroughly to just shut this down immediately. 22 workers killed in the game, And ByuN is going to sit down. 25 SCVs to the 42 drones. 51 army to the 28 army. Another couple of roaches popping out. And it's going to be seeing those roaches and rabbits continue to see what else they can do here. Hellions still looking around. A tank fires, and here we go once again, pushing forwards. A couple of corrosive bars go off, and the tank will die. But it does cost him a lot of his units as he pushes forwards. But there's more roaches coming through. Doesn't need a Ravager just yet because the next tank is only halfway built. So ByuN is going to have a little while again where he's going to have a bit of a tough time figuring out how to fight this. As, well, roaches, they don't want to run through those choke points either. So it's still a game of kind of making sure you're kind of hitting in the right positions. Corrosive bars, the CC down. ByuN now on only one base. We'll see that tank popping out, and we'll siege up, I guess, again in the same sort of position as before. That tank going to relocate, and so getting ready to go once more. We're just going to be seeing these roaches pushing forwards, and going to start spreading now. He's just going to fight into this completely. It looks as though he will. Corrosive Bile needs to come down that tank so he can get rid of it ASAP when the roaches start fighting it. Oh, he misses it. He actually somehow hits the Corrosive Bile between the racks and the back tank. Does that even make sense? I didn't even know that was going to be possible in that position. Wow, that didn't really look as though that was right to me, but either way, that's what happened. We see Ravagers trying to morph in, but they get cancelled. At least one of them does. The other one does stand strong for now. Marines in a tank in the back here from ByuN still. Third CC going to continue to come on in, and all these Marines continue to push forwards. The Queen pulling back as well. A few Roaches. The Ravager still around. Another Roach 2 popping out. ByuN with 1-1 upgrades does have that advantage on his side. Another tank. Yeah, I mean, the tanks now I think are too hard to deal with only 2 Ravagers. He needs the third Ravager. And actually, there it is right now. But he needs to make sure he can get forwards here and drop those Corrosive Bars ASAP. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. It does cost him all of his Ravagers. Worthwhile, though? Well, maybe. He's basically kind of traded them to make sure that he can keep on doing this. Now, the next tank comes out, doesn't siege up, though. Corrosive Bile will not hit as the medevac lifts it up. And Dark is, well, still doing some damage. But the thing is, eventually, he's finally going to get cleaned away. It's a long defense from ByuN, but he makes it happen in the end. It does happen in the end. You can see this nice network does get cleaned out. CC going to lift up, move down to the low ground as well once more. And it's going to be seeing the Roaches and Ravager from Dark once again gathering together. Drones move on over to the third base. And we still see another Liberator, another Siege Tank coming up here. So, still setting up. We're going to see a bit of a counterattack coming in from ByuN. So he's going to start going straight across the map. Look to see what else he can do. And let's see if he can... well, let's see if he can do anything. I mean, he does have the 1-1 upgrade lead. He does have a siege tank mixed into this. Scan comes down. We're going to see a couple of creep teams getting picked off right away. Roaches and Ravagers on creep, though. Do you have that roach speed? That's something that got built very long time ago when we saw the lair finishing up and the Nidus build, and he also invested into the roach speed. So that's something you just have to help and defend against this sort of position. And it feels though Dark being in his own side of the map and on creep, etc. I don't feel these couple of tanks are going to be all that scary for him. And there's going to be seeing the Marines pushing forwards as well. Let's see what else is going to happen. I mean, there's just so many Roaches in the Ravager as well, though. And that's the thing. Now 1-1 upgrades come in from Dark. They're not finished just yet, but they will be soon enough. And he's just continue to build on his own positions. You know, Burrow coming into play and so much more as well. So yeah, pushing on forward still, looking to see what else is going on. Tanks siege up once again. Marines continue to push on forwards. A Liberator set up in the sky, and you're going to be seeing the scan coming down. And yeah, and Roaches and Ravagers still just sat towards the natural expansion. Tanks going to move forwards as well here. And continue to see what else is going on as we see Roaches going to pop up from the other side, though. The Burrow from the back with tunneling claws. Well, that is going to be game ending for ByuN, who did not see that coming. Lost all of his tanks almost instantly in the fight. And, well, he's got a few Queens to try and fight this Liberator, and he's having a bit of trouble getting down his ramp to do so. So he backs away from the position for now, but he definitely has enough. And with all those Ravagers morphing in as well, he's going to have more than enough to be able to come on in, shut down that Ravager. The Siege Tank, too, he's got way more bars than he needs, so this is going to be completely fine for him. There goes the tank. Just the Liberator left over then, and he just waits for the bars to refresh, and he can get going once again. There's the Liberator going to go down. Just goodbye, Liberator, and... well, ByuN again struggling in this game. 52 to 38 workers, down now 30 army supply as well. Upgrades have now evened up. ByuN's only advantages in this game are starting to disappear. They are starting to disappear as we're going to be having, well, Dark just with more than enough to kind of stay strong in this game. Queen injects to the left-hand side. A few more Roaches continue to come on up. See this few Roaches coming in. The Marines looking lift up once again and jumping into the medevac. Just the map. Another couple of roaches. I guess there was another knives that I just missed. Apologies, but it doesn't really seem to do all too much. Dark now with just so many units on the map. And again, what do you... I mean, as ByuN, as a comeback king, what do you start to do to come back in this? Well, I think you need to start dropping around the map. That is the weakness of Roach Ravager, but... Well, how do you drop around the map when Dark is just doing such a good job anyways? A couple of crossbars don't quite hit. It's a difficult one to judge. I guess they didn't dice, and I guess they just walked in with the burrow. Those roaches that were in the main. Same thing happening right now as they go towards the third base. A few of these roaches looking to see what they can get done. As we're going to be seeing the roaches pushing forwards again. The Ravagers too, looking to see what else is happening. Tank siege up. And you'll see those few roaches again pulling around the right hand side from Dark. Marines and the tank pushing on forwards. Looking to see what else might happen. Still some more roaches from Dark just up in the top left hand side of the map. He's going to go a bit too close to this turret here. Dark's still kind of taking a while to finish up this game. There's nothing we can do at all to finish up this game just yet, as we see one roach is going to sit below this army. Make sure you can... It's actually a really cute position where he's going to be able to keep track of these units, and if the tanks were to... If he was to scan, if the tank's sieged, then the roach will, the roach that takes damage will just friendly fire onto Marines as well, so... Either way, this is going to be way too much here from Dark, and ByuN is going to have to type out GG. Dark picks up the 2-0 victory.